Hello everyone, it's Ashwin Rao, and in today's video I'm bringing you one of the wildest pairs of footwear that I recently acquired. Now, wild is a very relevant term in heritage footwear. Most of us prefer to stick with tried and true styles, but it's rare to find a boot that takes one of those concepts and elevates it in a unique direction. One of the brands that has managed to do this is Two Monkeys out of Japan. Now, Two Monkeys was founded by Yohei Goto. Goto-san is the founder of Gelato and collaborated with the team behind Red Wing Japan to create Two Monkeys, which is a footwear brand that also stretches into clothing and is sold largely through Gelato in Japan as well as Standard and Change in the United States. The model that has made waves over the course of this past year has been their Sportif Model, which brings together unique craftsmanship and elevated style to provide an easy-wearing boot that's really appropriate for all occasions and fits the modern aesthetic. So where am I going with this? Well, I started looking more into Gelato and Two Monkeys as a brand, and I came across a piece of footwear that I thought would be really unique for my particular wardrobe and a style that I thought, let me give this a try. Let's see how this goes. Two Monkeys brings back styles or harkens to styles from the Belle Epoque era of the 1920s and 30s, meaning that style at that time was often more ornate, more unique, and yet somewhat more casual. And so as I dove a little deeper into Goto-san and his aesthetic choices, I noticed that in many of his videos, he had this particular pair of footwear on almost all of the time. I just found that his styling was unique, classic, and bold, and it was a style that I thought I could bring into my own particular wardrobe and see where it took me. And so with no further ado, this is the Elastos model from Two Monkeys. The Elastos is really a take on the Chelsea boot. Most of these will call this style of boot a Chelsea boot, but in true it's a side-gore boot, meaning that it has this panel of elastic, and obviously the Elastos model harkens to this side paneling that we see here. But you can see there's some very unique detailing as we come into this shoe, specifically the type of stitching that you see along the edge here, this very unique pattern of broguing with looped stitching that I found to be very unique. Further, if we look down the center of the shoe, you will see this panel here, which is normally one solid panel stitched together in two separate panels, and then a separate piece forming the toe of the shoe with this unique medallion. This, my friends, is a very bold style, a style that we won't see on most modern footwear enthusiasts, but one that I thought was particularly appealing to me because of its uniqueness. The Elastos model is very similar to the Sportif model in that it has combined Goodyear welting and Blake stitching. If we go to the front of the shoe, you'll see that the first 180 degrees of this shoe has this type of stitching, which is a high density Goodyear welt stitch pattern. This is higher than the density that I've seen from the Sportif model that I own, and I think it's really well crafted and done very cleanly. So this particular welt will support and firm up the front of the shoe. But in order to bring the shoe to form a tighter blinded waist here, they elected to craft the remainder of the shoe using the Blake stitch method. This Blake stitch method allows direct sewing of the outsole to the footbed of the shoe and creates the ability to form this blinded waist. So this is a characteristic that both the Elastos and the Sportif models share, but pretty much everything else is entirely unique. This leather here is a different leather. It's a cowhide leather that has quite a bit of natural grain and character to it. You can see that some of this reticulation here is particularly appealing and aesthetically pleasing. This is also a softer handle leather, similar to the Sportif model, in that it has easy break-in and it's not going to be harsh on the feet. And while it's a thinner leather, it's a leather that should form nice rolls and character. The stitching is particularly unique and combined with this broguing in a manner that I have never seen before. As we turn to the back, you see a back heel seam with this leather top part here to protect against the collar. If we drift down, you will see a beautifully beveled edge, slight taper to this heel block here, and then this beveled waist transitioning from the heel block to the forefoot of the shoe. The back heel panels here are formed in two pieces and end right at the tip of this side gore here. Then you have two more pieces to form the upper front and top of the shoe that is different than many other Chelsea boots, along with this very unique toe piece here that I think is going to be a highlight and talking point for Wild, huh? Really cool pair that I am particularly excited to bring not only to this channel, but to my feet. I found that Two Monkeys offer some of the most comfortable, well-styled shoes out there. They also have their vaudeville model. The vaudeville model is more of your classic service boot style, but it has its own unique peaked toe box feature, which I think is really cool. And of course, this seems to be the wildest, most deliberately styled of all of their options. I love that this is a boot that I can just simply slip on and head to work. I also like that it has a shorter shaft to it, so it's almost a hybrid between a boot and a shoe. I hope you enjoy my first take on the Two Monkeys Elastos. And we'll see you at the next video. Take care and goodbye.